All right, we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to the fifth episode of Project Lead. We are now going live and we are here with our panelists. And I myself is the host for today's episode. I'm Muhammad Haaziq. I'm the 18th Student Council Exco Publicity Officer along with my other host, Keerthana.
Keerthana from Student Council Exco, and we have our three panelists with us. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, hi guys. My name is Dian and I am the president for Silat IG.
Welcome. Farra.
Hi everyone, I'm Farra. I'm the vice captain of touch football in RP.
Okay, and Natasha. I think you can just
Okay, hi. I'm Natasha and I'm the Vice President of Deafining IG.
Okay, all right, nice. Natasha, I think your camera is not working, but we'll just figure it out along the way. Okay, anyways, so to start off this, I just want to say I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for everyone that's coming down here, especially our panelists. Okay, now nice, Natasha, we can see you. Wow, I really like your shirt. Okay, anyway, so for today's topic will be it's about a leader's influence. So what does that mean really? So since we are talking about the Republic Code of Honor, where we are actually taking integrity and respect, we decided to talk about one leader's influence, especially in their community and especially in their whole IG. So nowadays, like doing all this IG stuff and being a leader is very difficult because we have the whole pandemic, but then at the same time we still want to get things going, we still want to influence them and be a positive influence, especially to our committee members. Am I right? I think I'm right? So I just want to know, as y'all right leaders, let's just have a casual conversation lah. What does respect mean to you?
Okay, I'll start first. So to me, respect is to basically treat each other with fairness. We don't see like a hierarchy against one another. So like whether you're a junior, a senior, or an EXCO member, you treat others with the same level of respect that you want them to treat you with.
Yeah, that's true. I think respecting each other, especially like you respect me, then I respect you. It goes both ways, lah. Respect. What about the rest?
Just adding on to what Dian said, because I honestly agree to what that kind of definition of respect is. Because like in cases where you think that you are better than other players, then there's no point because you're not gonna learn from those players. So I think like respect should be not in terms of just because I'm a higher, like in a sense, a higher ranking than you, but it should apply to everyone, whether she or him is better than you in terms of like like skills in like playing and whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't really matter as much as like if you think you're better than someone, that's really bad. Respect needs to come from like even though if you feel like you're higher than someone, you still need to look at everyone at the same level. And if not, how can things go forward? Natasha.
I couldn't agree more with both Dian and Farah. I think respect is something that is like no hierarchy kind of thing. And also, I think it's a very two-way traffic kind of thing, like a two-way kind of, two-way traffic. So we respect our juniors and then our juniors respect us and stuff like that. So I think one of the things that I found that really worked is treating your juniors like your friends and stuff like that. And then like talking to them like they're a student of RP, so ask them like how's your RJ and stuff like that. It's very unique to RP. Yeah.
I see, that's true. All right. I think we have gotten very like interesting responses lah, especially from all three IGs, which are like low-key different, but we all still have the main definition of what respect is lah. That it goes both ways. If I don't respect you, then you don't respect me, then like fight lah. No, like kidding. It's just gonna be like it's gonna be so dramatic. Anyways, next question, Tana.
Y'all have been sharing what respect means. So like how do you ensure that everyone respects each other in your IG community? Especially when like your sub community like your year ones, like they haven't even met y'all yet. Like how do you ensure that there's like respect with part?
Okay, so for Silat IG, basically for the first training, it will be with not only the juniors but with all the batches. So it's with the year twos, especially the year threes. So in that first training already, we would set the guidelines like, okay, we can be each other's friends, but during trainings, we still have to respect one another, even though we have like different levels of skills, especially because for the incomers, right, most of them are very new to Silat. So especially in that aspect, right, even if you are skilled, more skilled than others, right, you still have to treat them with respect and like don't like bring them down just because of the different level of skills.
For
I
me,
think right.
Oh, no mind, just go ahead lah.
well, for me
Just like I can go.
personally, like we did like emphasize like what's important, like you must the qualities that you must have as a player. But like personally, I feel like it's a basic human thing for you to respect one another. Because if there's no such thing as respect, even if in like a team itself, then there won't be like that bond that you guys will have, because like always like arguments all like that, like oh my god, that player is not respecting me, that kind of thing. So I
Yeah,
feel like it's a basic human right to have respecting one another.
that's facts. That's there's a lot of tea spilled, and I agree with that. Respect means like if you don't have it, and then if y'all pile up a lot of arguments, then like I've said so many times, there's not going to be productivity, and that's the whole main message that we want to get out of this. So Natasha.
For me, I think my exco and my committee, we are quite open-minded. So we always we respect each other's opinions quite a lot. So let's say one of us have an opinion and we say it out, the other will listen to it, and then we would have a small debate session, or we'll discuss, and then we would share our views, and then from there we'll come to a conclusion and stuff like that. So I think that is something that is very interesting, where as humans we can discuss and um communicate with each other and respect each other. So I think that's quite that's something that the exco does.
All right. I think that's very it's very insightful to know from a defining IG that because defining is known to be inclusive as a whole. So I feel it's really good if you enforce that, especially within your year one communities, and give them a good impression lah. So speaking about year ones and stuff, and speaking about your committee and members in your IG, right? So each IG has their own morals and principles. So how do you influence your own committee and members into having strong moral principles within your IG? So how does that work?
Okay, so for Silat, we have different set of morals. One being, respect. There's also self-discipline. There's other morals. But to show the juniors and to other committee members like how do we display these morals is basically by how we act around them. So action speaks louder than words. So when we portray the right morals, then people will follow along.
I see. Yeah, that's correct. Wow, I really like that sentence. Actions portray words, and I feel like I really agree lah. When you do something, it can really show. Body language. Body language is so important. Imagine right now if I'm this podcast and I sleepy like that, as if I'm not interested, and obviously people also don't want to talk. People also don't want to listen, right? Okay, what about Farah?
For me, like we always try to instill we always ensure that the players take initiative. So we always we do things voluntarily, so we don't always expect players to be like we pinpoint players to do stuff. So we always advise them to take initiative, whether it comes to who's gonna play, because now it's online training, right? So who'll be playing music during the warm-ups of the training. And also we usually have this summary of the things that we learn during training. So we always ensure that the players take the initiative. Okay, so I'll be doing the summary for today and that kind of stuff, because I feel that to be a leader, even taking initiative is important. Without it, you'll be too dependent on others, and you can't be independent in a sense, to me lah.
Yeah, I agree. Natasha?
So for defining being a service learning CCA, one of the morals we have is empathy and compassion. So for us, we like to. So initially, the first side to the hard of hearing people's world. So how there are different degrees of the hearing and stuff like that. So I think we really by doing all these that we do, I think we really do give them a taste and allow them to empathize more with people who are deaf. So that's one of the morals that Defining does show. Yeah.
I see. Keerthana, you wanna say? Okay, all right. So I just gonna like go reiterate Farah's point there, because when she was talking about initiative and taking initiative, I think it's very important, especially as a person in a committee or an IG. When you sign up for something, you have to take the initiative and you have to be independent, lah. You know what I mean? Like you cannot be too dependent on others, because in the end you won't have your own strong morals and you won't have your own ground, and that makes you seem like someone who is unreliable, and that's what I agree with lah. So from there on, right, I just want to know, like, especially now during this time, and especially getting everyone to be engaged and stuff, right, what are the challenges you face when ensuring that your committee withholds your morals?
Um, okay, so for my committees and I, like we will have different opinions of how to portray like these moral rules. So sometimes while we are discussing about it, we might we see things differently from one another. So that might be a challenge, because like I see how you portray respect one way, but another person will portray it another way. So I think finding that middle ground of how to like show it to the juniors and the other members of Silat, it can be quite challenging, especially when we can be opinionated with our own like opinions. We think like, oh, this is the way we should do it, and then we don't listen to like each other. Then that's where challenges may arise.
Yeah. When you don't listen to other people, and like when you get things heated, there will be so many things that don't go your way, and that really cuts off your whole initial plan lah. Farah, you wanna share?
Yes, please. So for me, usually like we face like more of like difficulties in like motivating our players, because sometimes they might feel motivated, like what's the point of coming to training, right, when it's just online training. But
Yeah,
like
that's
at the
true.
same time, like we will try our best to always be there for our players, like motivating them. Although at times they don't like reply to our messages, but then we would still try our best to like. See, you guys agree with me, right? So like
Yeah.
we like try our best to like like engage with them, but then like at the same time I feel that it's important to have that sense of like, would you say sense of urgency in like that player, because I feel that if you don't have that sense of urgency, you wouldn't want to like you wouldn't even want to be motivated, although other people do try to motivate you. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
one of the
true.
difficulties that I face in my IG lah.
It starts with the person itself. You know what I mean? Well, I
Yeah.
tell you, I can relate. Whenever, even in teamwork or schoolwork, people won't reply to the text messages, and I'm like, why are you even coming to school anymore? Like, not to throw shade or whatever, but that's just how I feel, what about Natasha? Okay, I heard that, I mean, I saw the National Day observance ceremony, and Defining was part of that. So how did that come about? And in a sense, like, how do you, like face those challenges? If like, do you think some of them were like demotivated? How do you get them to push themselves to participate in those kind of things?
So for the National Day one, it was actually only the exco who did it. But since we're talking about year ones, I'll just move on a little bit to the year ones. So for the year ones, and like juniors in general, especially during this time, like the pandemic thing, and we can't meet them face to face, there are some like as Farah mentioned, there are times where it gets difficult for us to engage with them and stuff like that. So I think one of the exco's biggest worry is that they get demotivated and they lose interest in it and stuff like that. So for us, what we try to do is linking back to our empathy, compassion kind of moral. We know that it's been a very long day for them, so we try to make lessons as entertaining as possible,
I see.
which is a little bit difficult, especially since it's an online lesson. So for what we try to do, we try at least we try to make it seem a bit fun. So we use a very happy tone, and then we
uh,
try to add stories into the description of words. So like certain words can, let's say,
that's
the
interesting.
description, it reminds you of something. So like a story, or it reminds you of an action. Then I would like tell them, actually if you think about it, it looks like that, and then I think that will help them remember easier. And also, since it's like a story, it sounds more fun.
Yeah, it's like more
and then
attractive lah.
and then after that, when we do still have extra time and the lesson time is still, we are still in the lesson time, I would open a game of Scribio, and then so it's a short break for my juniors for them to join in and just have fun before they have to rush their RJ and stuff like that again.
I see. I think making it entertaining is good because when they are entertained, they feel like, oh, okay, I want to do this more. I want to participate more. And I think the whole NDOC thing, like even though they are they are excos and stuff, you still manage to get your whole team to be participative in this, and that's very interesting. It's very cool. Okay, Keerthana.
Like, during this and all having is like online. But then like, how do you like drive your IG like and your IG like without getting
Yeah, how do you drive your year ones to be influenced with your activities in the IG? Because everything is online now. Without
Like,
getting bored lah.
without getting bored,
Yeah.
Like my IG, for my IG, we used to only do like fitness, meaning like just your basic
Oh,
exercise,
PT yeah.
but a little bit more hardcore lah, not just like like jumping jacks.
Oh,
But like also like hardcore lah, like tiring after that, that whole session. But we also do involve like we do add in like the fundamentals of touch. So basically like year ones are still able to like know, like although they are not on the field, they still get to learn about the basics of touch, which they can apply later on when we do get back to school to like learn more about touch itself when we like back on the field. Yeah, that's
so
like one of the ways to like motivate them lah. Other than that, we are like constantly there for them. So we always like check up on them. Like if let's say they don't come or like show up for training, we always make sure that we're always there for them. Or like let's say they do have like problems, we do try to get them to speak up about their problems because we want them to like know that we are always there. Although you don't want to speak up, but whatever it is, I'm here for you. Either way lah, if you want to open up to me or not. But yeah, just like being there for them is like important also.
Yeah, I see. I think it's very good at the fact that you say like even no matter how if they don't wanna like participate or they don't wanna like be motivated or like anything, you still tell them that I'm still here for you no matter what. Like don't worry, And I like how y'all focus on the theory part. Instead of like y'all feel like no what to do since we are sports IG and then we are supposed to be on the field and stuff, but then y'all still take the whole like theory part and y'all try your best lah to make it very innovative and very interesting. What about Silat? Silat, y'all kick through the screen, is it? No lah. So lame. But yeah. What do y'all do?
I have to agree with Farah. I think being there for your juniors is really important, especially during this time where they are just like going through this transition of from secondary school to year one. So being like and listening ear to them is very important. So like for Silat, like after every training, we would ask everyone to sit down and we would especially ask the year ones like, how was training? What are the difficulties you're facing and how can we improve in our training? So when we ask these like type of personal questions, we get to know how they feel about training, and then from there we try to like change it or like adapt it to a way where like they can like adapt to training easier. So I will have to agree completely that being there for your juniors is very critical in this timing.
I see. I feel like okay when I was in year one, right, I had my mentor lah. But then other than my mentor, it was like no one else because I didn't really join any IG besides SMC Club, and I was really grateful for it. And they were there for me. And at the point in time when I feel like there were people there for me, I felt like never mind, things will get easier, things will get better, and I'll integrate lah. Anyway, how's Natasha? Does she just want to talk through your screen?
Yeah, okay, I'll give it to Natasha.
Luckily, you all are beside each other lah.
Yeah, we're classmates.
Yeah, that's good.
Try.
Okay, what about defining IG?
Yeah, like what about defining IG?
How do you all drive your year one?
So for defining IG, as mentioned previously, we're trying to motivate them by like being entertaining for them and stuff like that. So we try to add stories and stuff to our we try to add stories and stuff to our description in our signing. And then
Oh
apart from apart from that, we also do like alternative stuff. So Monday we do like teaching the words. Then Friday we do song signing. So song signing is something a little bit different, a little bit more hands-on. They can try to sign the lyrics to the songs and stuff like that.
That's
And
so
we
cool.
also and we're also trying to arrange a performance for them. So the expos are working quite hard on that. So we are trying to arrange a performance for them so that, all of their hard works don't go to waste kind of thing. Yeah. So that keeps them motivated in that sense also.
Oh my gosh! So a whole like performance through like sign language. What songs do y'all sign in sign language? I mean, I'm just curious lah.
Last year we did. It depends on what song we want to do. So it depends on the theme and the story they want to follow as goes with
Oh,
every performance. So I think last year we did a Disney song signing performance. So this year,
oh, that's so
so
cool.
this, thank you. So this year, you guys will have to wait.
Oh, okay. So it's a sneak peek lah. A bit of like watch out. Okay. But when can we look forward to it though? Is it like soon coming?
Next year January is the planned date.
Ah, okay, I see. So like to everyone that's watching, do like look out for a sign language performance in lyrics, like through songs, and that's very interesting. Next year January. Okay. So as I was saying, I think it's very good that we try no matter what lah. As leaders, we compromise like this whole situation. We try to bring the best of what we have, and it's very good that we come out of it positively. Okay.
In your IGs, right, there's like different background or like different age groups. So how do you ensure that everyone is like involved in plan? Can't hear.
So you want to repeat?
Sure that every like race or like age groups are involved active G group.
So how do you ensure everyone different race, different gender, different age, like still involved lah? I mean, because Silat IG is like a whole Malay culture. So I'm quite curious. I think we're quite curious. Like, do you all have any other races or anything? And how do you all keep them involved?
Okay, so for Silat IG, the events that we plan unfortunately has to be like postponed. But like the main events like IVP, news, momentum. That's where like we try to get like these events are like the main events for Silat. So we try to get the juniors excited for that. So like since like for these events, right, it's not like everyone will get involved because like it's impossible for the whole year ones to perform on stage, something like that. But then it kind of motivates them to like work hard. And then if we see that potential in you, like if we see that you're always constantly training hard and like always passionate to learn new things, then like you might get to be involved in this type of event. So I think that's like one way to try to motivate them, like just to like talk about these events that we might have.
Okay, I see. So that's how you also include everyone lah. Because through these events, so everyone would want to know more and stuff, right? I see. Okay, what about touch football?
For us, like it's not only about competitions, but also like being how we involve everyone as a team, because we also do want to have that bond so that we can also carry that bond even during our games. So like usually like during like occasions, whether it's like Chinese New Year or like Hari Raya, we always like encourage everyone to like for my IG, we like encourage everyone to be in the color of that occasion. So like for Hari Raya, for example, we encourage the whole team to be like in green or yellow, and then for Chinese New Year in red. And then before the COVID-19, I remember that for Chinese New Year, we did a lohe after training. So like
Oh.
everyone gets to be involved in it. And then like I think one of my captain was like reading the different ingredients. So like, me as a Malay, like probably I don't know what like these ingredients are. So like I get to know more like what are the things that are in the lohe and that kind of stuff. So I get to learn more about Chinese New Year. And then also like we usually like post up like IG posts like during these occasions. So like we usually have like those like wishes, like for example for Hari Raya, like after training, everybody in green and yellow will be like wishing Selamat Hari Raya in a video. So that kind of thing we do, and then we will upload it on our Instagram page. And then also like to appreciate each player, we usually do like birthdays. So we like celebrate each player's birthdays. So it depends on our treasurer, the one in charge of like the team's funds and all that. So like depends lah whether you want like cake or like pizza, that kind of thing. Then we just celebrate like each other's birthday lah. So yeah, I feel like by doing that, it shows how we appreciate each and every single player. Like in a sense for their existence in our team, because without them there's no RP touch.
Wow, yeah, true, correct. Without them, there's no RP touch. Wow, that's very deep, and that's also true. And I like that y'all celebrate each and every single member's birthday. I think there's gonna be a lot of like money involved, but wow, that's really heartwarming lah to know. And the fact that y'all would also try to integrate yourselves with different cultures when y'all celebrate Chinese New Year and also Hari Raya and also Deepavali. So y'all will actually, come together different. Even though some members are not of the same culture and not from the same background, you'll still include everyone. And that's how we should be as leaders. No matter what, we should always be inclusive, and no matter how they look or what culture they're from, it should always be like, we should always have it in our heads and in our minds that we're all just humans, Che, deep a bit all. But yeah lah. What about defining IG?
So for defining, we do quite a bit of, we try our best to squeeze in as much bonding stuff as possible. So we have like bonding camps. So we recently did one with, it was an online one, but it was an online bonding camp where everybody was involved. And then we did say that those winners, we would give them like goodie bags when we come back and stuff like that. So that's a way that we involve everybody. And then also before this COVID pandemic thingy majingy, we did celebrations in collaboration with Touch Community. So Touch Community is a community out of school. So we did a Chinese New Year one, and because we didn't know that this pandemic would happen, we actually planned one for Deepavali.
Who knew? Well, yeah. Okay, continue.
We actually planned one for Deepavali or was it Hari Raya, but it didn't really work out. Pandemic, yeah.
This pandemic, I swear. But yeah, that's really good. Like everyone every IG is inclusive, honestly, since from what I heard. So that's interesting. And Keerthana, let's take off the next question, yeah? The final question before our break.
It's pretty hard to like keep the IG passionate during this pandemic, especially like the year one. So like, how do y'all ensure that, like especially for the year ones, like how do y'all ensure that they are still interested and passionate about your IG?
Okay, so I think like it can be quite challenging to make the year ones like interested for very long, because we only have trainings for like an hour for each session, so it can be quite hard to like squeeze everything that we want to teach them for that hour. But I think what we try to do is like when we are teaching them new techniques, we try to we try to simplify it and try to try to make games out of like learning those new techniques and to practice like how to execute them properly, and like also like try to make them more alert. So I think by like all these techniques that we're learning, try to incorporate something fun into it, then that's how we try to make the year ones more interested in what they're learning, because although it can be a new technique, like we teach them new techniques every day, but it can be hard for them to execute it. So by simplifying it and try to make it more fun for them, then they would benefit better.
Anyways, a bit the mute, Okay, so yeah, that was a very good point to be raised, lah. What about Farah? Farah, you also sports IG, so
Mm.
how you keep the
So
passion, lah?
I agree with Dian. So like usually I'll always like tell my players like if you don't understand anything, like what I mentioned earlier, to always be there for our players. So like if they don't understand a certain move during that like certain move in touch, or also like any basic drills that they don't know, they can always just come up to any of the seniors or like the captains or even my coach. They can just like give drop us a text, or like maybe if you want to like if you're in school, if you want to meet up, you can also just tell us that we can always be there to like help you. Like there's no like I feel like you don't have to be shy around us, because at the end of the day we are all like a team. So like we should always be there for one another. So like don't be shy lah, just like
Don't be shy. Don't be
shy put
shy.
some more.
Don't be shy. Put some more.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, what about Natasha? That's true, lah. You should not be shy.
For defining, we try our best to keep, I guess the everybody happy by. So we do definitions, and then we also, because we don't want them to like copy notes and stuff like that like too quickly, so we actually send the slides to them so that they don't have to rush anything and they can actually like pay attention to the lesson and try it out for themselves. So we have in our slides, the formats are the picture of how to sign the word, and then the word, and then the description of how to sign the word. So when we are teaching them, we would do the action itself, and then we would clarify with them whether they need any help and stuff. So that by just seeing us doing it, at least they know that this is the how to sign the word. And then with all the slides and stuff like that, it's easier for them to refer to it when they want to practice how to sign.
Yeah, I think it's good to have the slides and stuff, lah, so that everyone can still refer, no matter even if they missed it, for example. Yeah. So it's good. Okay. So continuing on with that, I just wanna give y'all a break right now because it's already 5:02 p.m. So it's time for us to have a short 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. If the viewers have any questions, please do drop them, and we'll answer them in the next segment. See y'all in a bit. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back from the short break. Hello everyone. Okay, so we have some questions. Some of them have been sent to us privately. So I'm just gonna read out those questions, all right, and then we're just gonna answer them and just have a casual and fun conversation. Okay. All right. So the first question is from Gamer 101 is, how do you deal with uncooperative or disrespectful subcoms?
I guess for me, we don't really have subcoms in our IG, but like sometimes, especially like during this ESC period, like some of the committee members might get like unresponsive, uncooperative. But I think to solve that is to like have a meeting with one another and like basically just tell your feelings and thoughts, so that the other party can understand your frustrations, because they might not know how you feel by through text. So I feel that when you are talking like verbally to them, you know like how they feel and why do they feel this way, and why are they like portraying these types of feelings to you, because we might not know our mistakes when we are just like typing it through text. So I think, yeah, verbal communication is very critical, like when you are dealing with like uncooperative like subcoms, or like any like member of the IG that might be like incognito or just like don't like cooperate with the rest of the members.
I agree. I think verbal communication really helps lah compared to online communication, because there might be like There might be some, things that will interfere through online communication, and body language is also very important. Okay, what about Farah?
For me, like adding on to what Dian said, having that open communication is important, but communication is not about telling what you feel, but it's also about listening to how others feel. Because like there's no point of you like telling, but then the people that you're telling are not listening. So from then on, and then you're able to like solve it together. Like if there's any beef between you guys, that you can always like solve it within each other, and then work it out from there. Yeah.
Wow, that one really deep though. The one that is, communication is not about talking, but it's also about listening, and that's important. Listening is good. You must listen. Okay, what about Natasha?
So for defining, we also don't exactly have a subcommittee. Ours is the exco in general. But then similarly to as Dian said, I think communication is very, very important, especially I think going back to empathy, compassion kind of thing, this period is very difficult for most of us, and also being at home and whatnot, like stuck at home. And then also in terms of school, it's very stressful because it's a complete new thing that we have never like done before in terms of our ESE assignment and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure like half of us, like three quarters of us, are rushing it like crazy right now. So sometimes when they get either unresponsive or they take a while to reply, or let's say they haven't attended one or two lessons, I think one of the most important things is to ask them whether is everything okay, and then understand and empathize with them. Especially since now it's ESC submission period, so everybody's rushing here and there.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Everything is rushing here and there.
So
Everyone is.
communicate with them. Yeah, communicate with them. Ask them. Like ask the reason why they are like unresponsive and stuff like that, and then give them some time. And if it doesn't get better, then I guess we have to resort to other measures. But for
Oh,
now, communication.
yeah, true communication. Wow, the result to other measures a bit scary, yeah. But I mean that's true. That's what we have to face eventually, as leaders, you always have to come to that strong standpoint, and you have to be strong in, like, telling people like, oh, okay, sorry, but you have to go. You know what I mean? And just drop them. We have another question here, which is I think very interesting, because has any of you guys feel like giving up at a certain point, because to lead during this pandemic? Like, have any of you guys wanted to give up during this pandemic, and like due to assignments and stuff, because it gets in the way of your IG? I think y'all got a lot to say, right? So, without further ado,
Okay, so I think we all can agree that, especially during this pandemic, it is like actually more stressful than if we were to have trainings like on campus. Because one, when we're holding like online trainings, we have to have like a lesson plan, and then like also need to dedicate our time to like um, hold these trainings, and then also like we have to shuffle a lot of our plans that we did like for the beginning of the year. So it can get very stressful, and especially now that we all have like different deadlines for our assignments. Yeah, I would say yeah, it gets very like stressful. And but I think to like over like to like I think it's important now that we especially help one another, because sometimes like one member is really like are not able to make it, so like we try to cover up for one another. But to do that, we need to have a strong communication with one another, like tell beforehand like, oh, today I might not be able to attend this training because I have like other priorities. So like, is anyone able to fill me up like for today? So yeah, like just have a strong communication with your other core members, because we are all facing the same like problems. But as long as we help one another out, it will get easier.
I think it's very that's true lah. When you help each other, it gets better for everyone. So I feel and agree, and I feel you, because like when you get stressed out, when even during this time when I had my assignments and stuff, well, I tell you, I really wanted to like just drop everything and be like, bye, peace out, like, I'm just gonna like get out of everything and just don't care. But when I communicate with my friends and I share with them my problems, everything gets better for me lah. because I'm not alone, and I'm sure all of us are not alone like this. Okay, what about Farah?
So like to me, like bringing up back like all about taking the initiative. So like we do have like other com members, so we always ensure that you don't always depend on only like a particular com member to do everything. Cause like what Dian said, like for whenever it's like on like online training, there's so many things that you guys have to do. So even like you have to do up the attendance, then you have to do up the Zoom link lah, all that kind of things. So like yeah, we always like try to take initiative, or we always take turns. So like for example, this particular training, like a particular com member will like do that, and then another training like somebody else will do it. So like we take turns because we all are in the same position. We are all still students, what? So like yeah, we always like help each other out. So like what Dian also said, yeah.
Yeah, I think dividing the work, like divide and conquer for worksheet, no lah. For like all our stuff in our IG is important because everybody needs to play a part and everybody needs to contribute. And I really like how when Farah was saying that everything was stressful, then Natasha and Dian just go like, yes, like I agree. What about Natasha though? What do you think? Have you ever like lost interest?
I guess not so much of lost interest, but I think the topic of this entire project lead is also with great power comes great responsibility. So it flows along the lines as when you're a leader or when you hold a leadership position, you have a lot to do. You have a lot and a lot to do. On top of like being a student, you are also like for us we are either a press or VP of our IG and stuff like that. So there's definitely times where you think like, oh no, I cannot do this. I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. That kind of thing. But I think one of the things that really continues to drive me is my juniors come in not knowing anything about, okay, maybe not knowing anything, but knowing, some of them come in knowing almost nothing about sign language or the CCA that we are teaching, the IG that we are teaching them, and they leave the IG knowing more about it and like gaining a knowledge and gaining a skill. So when you see that happening, it sometimes feels like you're a proud mother kind of feeling. So it's yeah, so that continues to drive me, even though sometimes there definitely has been times where you feel like I don't know what I very stressed kind of thing. But then again, I like to thank my EXCO members. They are super 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 nice and super understanding, and we really do divide and conquer the work. So I love you guys so much. Yeah, so like when
Shout out.
so when I do get like, let's say my dog is not feeling well or I got work to do, I would like message the group and be like, guys, I cannot come today. I'm so sorry. Then they'll be like, it's okay. We'll update you kind of thing. So yeah, shout out to my EXCO members.
Shout out to those people who have been there for us, man, especially during those hard times. And yeah, well, I think that's really what we must all agree with, lah. So Keerthana, and all stand by.
Another question from 101. So, what are your tips that everyone?
Sorry, I cannot hear properly. It's like it gets getting cut off.
Okay, and I'll read for you. It's okay. It's fine. So the question is, what are your tips on becoming a leader that everyone respects? Give us some tips and tricks, Che.
Okay, honestly, that's a pretty hard question because there's not really like a list of what a leader should be. It all comes with like how dedicated you are to the team and whether you're willing to like sacrifice a lot for the team. So like but I think maybe like being a leader means to always like to be vocal about your opinions, because like if you're going to lead like a big group of people, right, it's important for others to like hear what are you saying, because and you need to like kind of assert dominance. Like although we say like there's no hierarchy, but at times there is a need for a hierarchy. So I think to be like vocal and show people that, oh, like I am here to like be your leader. I'm here to like help you guys and bring the club in a better position. So I think to have that confidence and to have that like drive to bring like the club to greater heights, and so I think that's what being a good leader is.
That's true. You must be confident. You must be vocal in terms of like your plans. Because if you're not, then like how are people gonna feel like they can rely on you? You know what I mean? Okay, Farah.
For me, like what Dian said, there's no particular like quality that you must have. I mean, technically yeah lah, must have lah, like for example like responsibility and all that. But there's no like list to what kind of leader you want to be. It all depends on you lah, honestly. But for me personally, like as a leader, I will want people to think that they can always like they'll always have me by their side, not just as to lead them, but also to be with them. So like I try to like instill this like in a sense homeliness feeling like towards them, so like they can always like talk to me, or like I'm also always there to like support them in anything that they do. So you don't have to always like come to me just only things related to the IG itself. You can always come to me like on like family matters, or like if you have any personal issues or friendship issues, or like even studies, or you need like tips and tricks on how to like do well in your studies and all that, you can always just come to me. So I feel like having that quality is as important, and then like also like how you lead the team lah, that's also important.
I see. So being vocal is good, but you also have to be approachable. Right. So yeah. What about Natasha?
So I think being a like to try to be tips on being a respectable leader is like, I think a leader should have the best interest of the group at hand. So not the best interest of what you want or like your own opinions, own opinion and stuff like that, but like the best interest of the entire group and the entire like IG. So respect is something that you need to show, it's earned. So you need to show like results and progress, and then that's when people will start respecting you. So I think being one of my greatest tips is like don't like think of the best interest of the group, the entire group, how you want to bring it to greater heights or better heights. And then as Dian mentioned, stand in times when you need to stand your ground, you stand your ground. Yeah.
Yes, I feel too that it's important to put your group first before yourself. Because in at the end of the day you're doing this for your whole committee and for your group and for your IG to grow, not for yourself lah, for your own interest. And if you even if you have the wrong intentions also, things won't go like the right way. Yeah, that's interesting. That's good. Okay, Keerthana.
Okay, so like the question like that viewers have is, do you think COVID-19 has forged closer relationships, or have your members strayed away or become like distant? Can you hear?
Yes, can hear you loud and clear, thankfully.
I think for like this period, like I would have to be honest lah. Like I think our members are becoming more distant with the club, because it's very easy to like disassociate yourself from the team, because it's only like you're only like informing the club, like your members, through like text messages. So it's so easy to like, oh, just read and then acknowledge, then you forget about it. So yeah, but then I also feel that for those who are very like always come for trainings and are very consistent like in their attendance, or I think like for this group of people we actually form like stronger bonds, because like it's not only about training, right? Like being on training is not always about like, it's not only about learning the new techniques, but it's also trying to bond with your other teammates. So like for us, we like after every training, uh, we try to like just hang out for a while, like maybe like 10-15 minutes just to talk about life, or like let the let the year ones like like tell us like their worries, or like and like we try to be there for them, and like how can we help them, not only as like a senior in Silat but also just a senior in RP, because we've also been in this school for longer, so we know how to adapt better to like this type of like challenges. So we just try to like be there for the juniors. So like in terms of the whole club, kind of a bit more distant. But for those who like have been like very cooperative and who've like always attended training and always like just be there for the class, I think we've like formed stronger bonds with them, which is also very good.
Yeah, I guess like because of COVID-19, everybody also feel like demotivated and they don't wanna do more, or they don't think like, oh, what's my future is unpredictable, you know. So that's why I don't want to commit and stuff. But therefore, like I'm really grateful so lah to have those people who are, you know, still committed and consistent throughout everything. Like shout out to them people, you know. Okay, what about Farah?
Like for me personally, I feel like our team is still like the same. Like we didn't like really like become more distant, but we do like try to like like being there for them in a sense like in a sense like tighten the bond, but also like for the like those like year ones, like whenever we see them in school we try to like say hi, because I feel like even a simple hi make them feel like, oh my god, like oh my god, she knows me, although like I always see them online, right? But like in a sense like they like feel the inclusiveness in a sense. I keep on saying in a sense, but yeah, like they feel like that like I know them personally, like as if like we've been like friends for like a long while, although it was just a short while. So like I feel like during this period there's nothing much that we can do about it, because it is what it is. But like we just try our best to make everybody feel like included, so that we are like in a sense more bonded lah.
Yeah, that's true. Being friendly really goes a long way. You know, what's so wrong with being kind? When you be kind, you actually make someone else's day. So it's good lah. What about Natasha? See, I also say it's good lah so many times.
So, in terms of distance, I think because for the entire CCA itself, it was more or less quite bonded in the start, except that because for me, I was in a different class as compared to them. We had two classes. I didn't really get to interact with them a lot and like a lot. So when we first joined the exco, like all of us together, we knew each other. We have spoken to each other here and there, but we are not very, very, very close. But I think over the COVID period, because of all the meetings and stuff like that, we talk a lot more than we used to, like
Oh,
before
that's
school.
interesting.
So in that sense, we got closer. But then again, we wanted to like meet in real life, and obviously, meeting online, there is definitely differences as compared to meeting in real life and communicating in real life. So we wanted to do a bonding for everyone, but the limit and stuff like that, so we couldn't really do it. So hopefully, we can do it after this entire pandemic thingy majiggy is more or less over. And
Okay.
then
Yes. Do you want to continue?
So in terms of our juniors, um, I think because we didn't really know them before the entire thing started, we got closer, and also I try my best to talk to them on a friend level kind of thing. So yeah, I think in general we got closer. But then again, distance makes the heart grow fonder. So hopefully after this
Ooh.
thingy
Wow.
majiggy, so hopefully after this entire distance thingy majiggy, we like grow to appreciate each other more lah.
Wow, I really like that term. I think I'm a jiggy. Distance I'm a jiggy. Or yeah, I think there's some real tea. The fact that you said distance makes the heart grow fonder. Wow, phew. That's very deep, and that's true lah. It is actually, it does work. I feel like even through my meetings also, I have to plan camps, and I feel that I actually grow closer to my committee because we also meet every day through Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams. I'm so tired of that. I like kidding, but yeah. Okay, our final question before we wrap this up is from Hana Osman. So she asked, were there any instances where the IG members seemed disinterested in fulfilling the activities? So how did you guys overcome this?
Yes, Hannah, I got you, girl. So like what I always say, like we are always constantly there for them, and like yeah, I think like we've always like mentioned like being there for them and giving them that constant support. I feel like will make them more motivated in order to like carry out the things that we do during training and all that. Although we are not on the field, but yeah, I think just being there for them lah, basically, and always being there to like support them. I got your back, you know. Yes, Hannah.
You got Hannah's back. Okay, what about Dian and Tasha?
Okay, so from yeah.
Uh-oh. Do you remember the question? Basically, it's about did you guys have any instances where your members seem disinterested in fulfilling the activities lah? Like it's a similar question to one we've had before.
Yeah, sorry, security problems. Okay, never mind. Moving on. I think, yeah, I mean, like a lot of our year ones are very new to Silat, so some of the techniques we teach them is not easy to get it on like the first try. And then when you see other people who are doing better than you, it like sometimes you're just like, oh, like I'm not doing as well as others, so why should I try? But I think to like these like instances, how do we solve it? Right? Is like we try to empathize with those like just learning the technique. I mean, I'm still very new to Silat, so I'm also struggle. So I think it's just to like helping one another. Like if we see anything wrong, like or how they execute the technique, then we just tell them or like try to help them along the way. So it is normal to feel very like demotivated because your progress might not be as fast as others. But I think just as long as you have the passion to improve, then that's really good.
Full of passion to improve. Yeah, that's right. I feel like I know it's a human kind of tendency to see others and compare yourself to them and be like, oh, okay, I'm not doing as well. So I feel like, I'm not as good as this person and I don't want to do more. But I think you have to put it in your mindset lah that, even though you feel like you're not doing as good, there's always a room for improvement. And that's what I believe in. And I think that's what y'all believe in too lah, What about Natasha?
So in terms of like motivation, demotivation kind of thing, or interested or uninterested, um, sometimes I try my best to, let's say for that specific lesson, I realize that my juniors aren't as proactive as they used to, or like when I ask them questions, sometimes they don't reply and stuff like that. I try, if it's like for one lesson, I try my best to empathize. Maybe it's been a super long day at school, school, and then you go home, you're like tired, you want to rest, but then you still have IG. So sometimes I try my best to empathize. So I would like ask them whether they're doing okay and stuff like that. So in a way, it perks them up. It's like an act of kindness, kind of to like be concerned about them. And then also when they are, if really if like they continue being uninterested, then I will try my best to perk up the lesson. So maybe add more for defining, because we use slides, we maybe add more I don't know, add some games here and there, gives them like few breaks here, and then like talk about RP instances that say like, oh, there was one time I accidentally submitted my RJ incompleted or something like that. So in a sense, you kind of perk up the lesson a bit, make them a bit more interested, because sometimes they're just really, really tired.
Yeah, that's true. It's the same lah as what you've said earlier, right? Like you have to do different methods to make everyone engaged and interested. Okay, and that's all we have, our questions. Thank you so much again. I think I just want to end off by saying the main takeaway from this whole webinar is that like as a leader, you have a lot of influence, and when you have a positive influence, right, you will always tend to communicate with your committee members, and you always have to be engaging with them, and from that's how you gain respect, and that's how you respect them. And also from that, when they feel respected and when they feel included, they will want to have the passion to join and further contribute to your IG as a whole, to make your IG go to greater heights. So yeah, I think that's what we should do as leaders. Other than that, I just want to say thank you so much to Farra from Touch Football, Vice Captain, and also Dian, Alisha from Silat IG President, and also Natasha from Deafining IG Vice President. Thank you so much for coming down. with my host, my other host, Keerthana. Thank you so much also for being here. And thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you all enjoy. Do tune in to the next episode next Thursday on 27 August, 4:30 to 5:30. Okay? See y'all. Bye-bye.